Hello and welcome. You're back for 1.5 part 2. So hopefully you're on page 81. And 81 introduces very similar formula to 1.1 and earlier in the lesson, but it's talking about a percent error. And a percent error is calculated by taking the estimated value minus the actual value, which is the difference, right? Similar to the percent increase, divided by the actual value. So we're going to talk about percent error today. So it's important that you read through all of this. We're going to get some carpet. And if you've ever purchased carpet, they come and they do an estimate, and then they actually charge you based on the estimate, not actually what they actually used. And so I would prefer to have an underestimate, but I want to make sure they bring enough. So that's kind of an interesting question to think about. But let's jump right into the content. So it says a carpet installer estimated that you're going to need 24 2/3 square yards of carpet for the bedroom and closet shown in the diagram. So we have a bedroom here. We have this closet space here. And then these are the doorways in between here and then here in the hallway. So it says find the area of just the bedroom in square inches. So everything is in inches, so I don't have to worry about any of that right now. And area is length times width. So my area is going to be 182 times 128 square inches. And that comes out to be 23,296 inches squared, because we have inches times inches. The area of the closet in square inches is going to be 64 times 50, which is 3,200 square inches. Then it says each of the doorways shown is 30 inches wide and the walls are 4 inches thick. Carpet is needed for the entire doorway between the bedroom and the closet. So this entire doorway is 4 inches wide and 30 inches long. So the closet doorway is going to be 30 times 4 or 120 square inches. Okay, but it says in half of the doorway into the bedroom. So into the bedroom, they just need half of this space carpeted, which is 2 inches in depth. So the hallway door is still 30 inches wide, but only 2 inches in deep. So that's only 60 square inches. And then they want us to find the total carpeted areas. So the total is going to be the bedroom plus the closet plus one door and the second door. And that comes out to be 26676 square inches. Convert the total carpeted area to square yards. So we're starting with 26676 inches squared. And we want it in square yards. So yards squared. I do not know a direct link between inches squared and yards squared. So I do know something between inches and feet. There's 12 inches in a foot. So I can get rid of one of my inches by doing 12 inches in a foot. And then I can do it again to get rid of my second inches. So there goes my inches. And then I need to go from feet times feet to yards times yards. So I also know that there are 3 feet in 1 yard. And remember, because my feet were on top here, they have to be on bottom here to be able to cancel. So that cancels one of them. And then I need to do it again to cancel the second. Feet and feet. So I'm left with yards squared, which is what I want. And then I'm going to multiply straight across. So we get 26676 over 12 times 12 times 3 times 3. So that comes out to be 1296. And then when I divide my numerator divided by my denominator, I get 20.58 square yards. And this is my actual measurements. Then we would like you to write a sentence here describing the estimate compares to the actual. The estimate is up here, 24 2/3. Right here, square yards. So number 7 says, find the percent error in the estimate. So we have to go back to page 81 where we have the formula where percent error is the estimated minus the actual divided by the actual. So estimate minus actual divided by the actual. So my estimate is 24 2/3. So I'm going to round that to 24.67 minus the actual, which is 20.58 over 20.58. So the difference, the actual difference is 4.09 square yards divided by the actual. And when you do that, it comes out to be 0.1987, which is 19.87 over. So they overestimated by 20%. That's a lot. Number 8 says, not everyone realizes this, but when you buy carpet, you pay for the estimated amount, not the actual amount covering your floors. If the family that owns the house in the diagram picked carpet that cost $28 per square yard installed, how much would they have paid? So they're going to use the estimate of the 24.67 square yards. And we're paying $28 per 1 square yard. So that's how our yard squared cancels. And when we multiply this, we get dollars. So we're going to pay 690.76. And this is something that you would do a lot in your own mind without writing out units, because you know that it's a yards for money, but it's like, oh, when you see it, then hopefully that makes more sense of why we have to multiply fractions in the way that we do for unit exchange. Use the actual error in the estimate to find the dollar value of wasted carpet. Well, our actual error was the 4.09 square yards, right? This was the estimated minus the actual. Times the $20 per square yard. And that comes out to be a waste of $114.52. We overpaid. That's discouraging. According to the internet, which knows everything, right? A good rule of thumb is to plan for 5 to 10% waste when buying carpet. How did the estimator do? He did terrible. Right? He overestimated by 20% is what we came up with, almost 20% over. So it was definitely not the 5 to 10, which they say is acceptable. I don't think that's acceptable. So question number 11 here says, one suggestion for estimating carpet is to measure each room in inches and round up to the nearest half foot and ignore the doorways. So using the measurements for the closet and the bedroom, make an estimate for the square feet needed. How does this estimate compare to the actual area? So when we go back here and we go to the original measurements and turn them into feet first, this 182 divided by 12 comes out to be 15.2 feet. but they said to round that to the nearest half foot, round up. So that should be 15.5. And then this 128 divided by 12 inches to go to feet comes out to be 10.6, but we have to round that up to the nearest half foot, which would be 11 feet. So the bedroom would be 15.5 feet times 11 feet. And that comes out to be 170.5 squared. And then the closet, the 64 inches, if you divide by 12, is 5.33. So we have to round that up to 5.5 feet. And the 50 inches divided by 12 comes out to be 4.17. And we have to round that up to the nearest half foot, which is 4.5 feet. So when we multiply these together, we get 24.75 feet squared. And when we add them, it comes out to be about 195.25 square feet. So that estimate to the actual. So the actual came out to be 20.58 yards squared. But if we put that in feet squared, we can do times 3 foot 1 yard times 3 feet 1 yard. So the 20.58 times 9. I'm going to share and go to my Desmo screen for a moment. And so our Desmos calculator here, we have 20.58 times 3 times 3. So that should be 185.22. So that estimate is over as well, right? So if we did the rounding with the feet rounding to the nearest half foot, that 195.25 minus the actual 185.22, and then we take that 10.03 and divide by the 185.22. That overage is only 5.4%. So that's a better way than what we had before. So let me go back and share my paper here so you can see that. 5.4%. And then it says, list some situations where relative change is much more useful than actual change. And so I definitely think when you're saying a percent increase, as far as a percent increase from one year to another on usage of things, I think is very important, because sometimes big numbers sound like, you can make them sound like it's not a very big increase, or you can make it sound like it's a really big increase, but it's really not. So I think I'll leave you to ponder on those a little bit. Have an awesome day, and I'll catch you back for 1.6.